Hey everyone, Professor Falconer here. Happy New Year! Hope you had a great holiday season, and as always, we have our loot crates. Let's go ahead and open it up and. I'm sorry? Oh, loot crate hasn't arrived yet. Because they all got delayed because of some sort of t shirt problem, so I didn't have a loot crate to open last month. Oh, okay. Well, then what am I doing here exactly? Is this a health update? Am I doing. Because I need to do a health update, so. No? Oh, well, then what am I doing here? My god. It's full of things. That's right. Cards Against Humanity has done their usual annual holiday bullshit, and this time, that's their name for it, by the way, and this time it is Cards Against Humanity Saves America. Now, these envelopes have been coming in for the past few weeks, and I decided to go ahead and hold on to all of them and do one big opening of all of it rather than do one day by day because I didn't think there'd be enough content for just one day. But we're going to do this super rapid fire. So I'm going to open these things up and we're going to take a look. Let's look at day one. So the day one for Cards Against Humanity is no surprise. Everyone knows it because it's been popular in the news. It is in fact purchasing a piece of land along the California, or no, the U.S. Mexico border, which prevents Donald Trump's wall from being built. Now, as a public figure, don't laugh, as a public figure, I try to not get too involved with political stuff. However, in this case, all I can say is this is great. I love this. This is actually pretty funny. And in fact, it also includes, along this package, oh dear, well, never mind, includes in this package a map which contains information about the border and where the proposed wall is supposed to go. And in fact, you can actually see a trebuchet in here where Cards Against Humanity is actually built a trebuchet and all that fun stuff. So, I mean, if you want to read more about this, you can look online because there's articles about it everywhere and talking about whether or not eminent domain applies in this case and so on and so forth. But needless to say, I love this. And in fact, this certificate is particularly fancy. I rather enjoy this. In fact, I think I may get it framed, which is appropriate because I do need something for this wall. This blank wall has been bugging the hell out of me since I've started these videos. So that's great. In addition, I got some delightful cards. Um, they are wall themed. I don't think I'm gonna tear into these just yet because they're not. I mean, everyone gets those cards, and I'm waiting for maybe some more special cards as the week goes on. So let's move on to day two. So with day two, we have something truly special and good. The Cards Against Humanity folks have gone ahead and started a podcast called the Good News Podcast, and they've funded it for a full year ad-free. The reasoning behind that is with all the bad news in the world, they decided to go ahead and put in some good news for a change. So to help with that, they did the Good News Podcast, which you can search on iTunes or wherever. And also, they've included some other great things, such as these stickers, these laptop stickers, which contain some good, useful, interesting, fun facts. Such as this one, which I'll read for you. Between 1990 and 2010, the number of people living in extreme poverty fell by half, from 43% to 21%, a reduction of almost 1 billion people. That's pretty great. You don't hear that very often, so that's actually really good news. In addition, they included some cards, which I've opened, and they're all nice, happy, good, fun, wonderful, sweet things. These aren't cards against humanity at all. These are cards for humanity. It's actually quite a refreshing change of pace. Well, let's move on to day three. So day three is actually also not a surprise because it's been very popular in the news. And the reason why is that Cards Against Humanity decided to go ahead and take some of their money and redistribute the money that came in from the sales for this whole promotion. And what they've done is a certain percentage of people got their money back. A very small percentage of people got $1,000, and most people got nothing. And the reason why is they took a look at the questions that you filled out during the sign up process, and they determined whether or not you were poor, basically. And so people who got in the lowest percentile of wealth, they got $1,000. People who were a bit higher up, they got their money back, and everyone else got nothing. And according to this letter here, I got nothing. But that's okay. I'm actually totally fine with that. And the reason why is because this money can go towards people who actually need it. And apparently, I am not in a position where I need it that badly, according to them at least, which is kind of a compliment, really. I mean, I'm not saying I'm rich, not by a long shot, but it's kind of, it doesn't suck that I'm not so poor that they had to give me $1,000 or my money back. And if you did get your money back, or if you did get $1,000, that's great too, because that means that could mean anything. That could mean so much help for the future. So I think everyone wins in this situation. I don't mind my money going to help the less fortunate. I'd rather more of my money that I pay in like taxes and whatnot go to actually help the less fortunate. So this is fine with me. And in fact, to commemorate this, they've included 2 cards. And I know that these cards are special based upon who gets what. These are actually not out of focus. My camera is just not great. Although I am changing that, more on that later. But you can see here that this white card is special in that it's the most, probably the most people have this card, but I don't have one of the other cards, and that's what I'm trying to say is I appreciate this, and I actually have no problem with this, and I think it's in tune with the holiday spirit, so this is great. All right, on to day 4. So day 4 may be my absolute favorite. 5 and 6 are gonna have to really compete because this is spectacular. Cards Against Humanity is fighting homework. I love it. So they have included a letter in here from the Chicago Children's Museum, which talks about how essentially homework is meaningless. Homework has no real use. There's no solid connection saying that homework is worth a damn. And in fact, it's a big waste of time, and kids don't really learn a whole lot from it, and it's more or less just hot garbage. And something that we've all known all our lives, but we were forced to believe, no, that can't be true. There's no way that's true. Because people give homework. Teachers give homework. That's how it's done. But no, homework sucks. We all know this. And so in order to help fight the oppressive regime of homework, Cards Against Humanity, I just lost the paper. Cards Against Humanity, I read this, is creating through Donors Choose a fund which is helping to give children in classes alternatives to homework, such as field trips and letting kids play and giving them stuff in the classroom to work with, and stuff like giving board games for family game night so they can interact with their families more, because one of the things they talk about in here is how homework will often isolate children from the rest of their family because they're working so much on homework that they get cut off from their families, and it creates social problems and emotional problems, and it's just a big pain in the ass. So Cards Against Humanity is going to try and stop homework, and I support this fully. So if you want to help out with this, actually, you can go to donorschoose.org/CAH-homework. I'll put the link in the description. And they will actually match all donations up to $100,000. And I'm hoping by the time you see this, they have already reached that goal, because this is a worthy cause for sure. In addition, it also included some really lovely notes from kids who are already benefiting from this sort of thing. Looks like this one here, Alexandra, got a board game that she was able to use in order to help learn how to make shapes in basic geometry. And meanwhile, this person here, can't quite read her name, but this person here went to a museum and went on a field trip and learned a lot that way. So really, anything that fights homework is great because homework sucks. Have I made that point clear? In addition, they have included some Cards Against Humanity cards, which I particularly enjoy. Here's a look at some of them. And I think says it all, really. All right, moving on to day 5. So day 5 is a real interesting one because what we have here is the Pulse of the Nation. Now, the Pulse of the Nation, according to Cards Against Humanity, is a monthly poll where people will be basically asked the most interesting and important questions and analyze their responses using rigorous methodology. Basically, what that means is they're going to poll people and see what they really think about stuff. This pamphlet actually contains some of their answers for the first 2 months, and the proceeds from Cards Against Humanity Saves America actually goes toward funding this entire thing for the rest of the year. So that's interesting. And you can actually go to thepulseofthenation.com to see the results for these surveys. So I'm going to read a couple here for you. People who prefer being smart and sad are more likely to accept the scientific consensus on climate change. Interesting. Another one here. Let's move on. According to this, it is 80% unlikely, or 80% of people think it's unlikely that their jobs will be taken over by robots within the next decade. Now, whether or not that's confidence or ignorance, well, we'll see. But in addition, Cards Against Humanity has included some cards for this day, as they always do. This one, however, is full of Shakespeare stuff. And as a former theater student, I can definitely appreciate some more Shakespeare stuff. This is going to be going into my game pronto. All right, so we are at the last day, and let's see what day 6 brings us. Okay, day 6, they really did end on what I think is a very high note. They bought a baseball stadium. Like, I heard something about this, so this isn't terribly surprising, but what I hadn't realized was the full scope of it. So what they've done is they have purchased a... Let me just take a look here. Yeah, they're able to buy the naming rights to a minor league baseball team, or no, baseball stadium in Joliet, Illinois. So they created the Cards Against Humanity baseball place, home of the Joliet Slammers from Joliet, Illinois. And this is truly amazing because what they've included in this set is they've included blueprints. Sorry for that thud there. Blueprints for the baseball place, which is really something else, and I think may also make an appearance on my wall in the near future. But that's not all, because they also included, some baseball-themed Cards Against Humanity cards, which are, of course, in great taste, as always. And then they also included, which I think are truly lovely, baseball cards for the entire team. These are particularly great because they've given them all nicknames. My personal favorite so far is Spencer Pumpkin Spice Naveen. That's pretty amazing. And then also on the back are a bunch of stats and interesting trivia and blurry. There we go. So this is pretty great. And you'd think, well, that's probably it, right? No, because they also included a ticket. A ticket to attend the Joliet Slammers versus, in other words, some crappy opposing team at any home game during the 2018 season. So I have a ticket to go see the Joliet Slammers if I find myself in Joliet, Illinois at any point in 2018. Strong chance I'm not going to be able to make it, so I may find a way to get this ticket to someone who can appreciate it. Or if not, then perhaps I'll keep it and frame it because this is really, really neat, and I enjoy little things like that. So let me do a quick bit of cleaning here, and then we'll wrap everything up. I'll be right back. So that was it. That was Cards Against Humanity Saves America. And what do I think overall? Well, I think it was really great. I think this $15 may possibly be one of the best uses of my money. I'm going to try that again. This $15 purchase is one of the best purchases I've ever made. And the reason why is because it's helped so many people. It's helped people who are truly in desperate financial need get some sort of relief. It's helped fight the oppressive tyranny of homework. It's purchased a plot of land and is causing some legal trouble for the government and stopping their stupid, stupid plan from happening. Um, and they've saved a small minor league baseball team and given them a well, I mean, not a better place, but a place with a better name. And it's pretty great. I like all of this. The Good News podcast. I'm going to check that out for sure. Um, I'm going to include, like I said, all the links that I talked about below, so you can check out all that stuff. But overall, this has been fantastic. I'm really happy with this. So thank you, Cards Against Humanity. Once again, you've brought joy to my life and the lives of many, many others. So, well, I guess that's it. So, as always, I'm Professor Falconer, and I'm sorry. Oh, oh, now the loot crate shows up. God damn.